This is My First Hit on 947, brought to you by Sampra, where we tell all the incredible stories behind the breakout hits of some of your favorite artists. And listen, this one definitely is everyone's favorite. In fact, she's the city's bestie. Literally the city's bestie. She sits in the studio with me today. We get up close and personal with the mega Afro House DJ, producer, media personality, businesswoman, marketing genius, and mommy and wifey. How can I forget wifey?
I'm doing it I'm doing it all.
You are literally, when do you sleep? When do you wake up? When does it happen?
I sleep enough, I guess. I always force myself to sleep.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you need it, man.
Do you know when they were like, okay, cool, because I found out that I'm interviewing you yesterday, and they were like, interviewing Zinhle. I was like, do I call my makeup artist? I was like, this person firstly does everything, but I know she's going to come ready for the day because she probably has the rest of her day after this interview.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing an interview in the morning on a TV show.
Yeah.
So that's why I came fully made up. Otherwise, I was just going to come in sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, and have skin like you are.
Let's speak music. Where does it start? Small town Zinhle from Danhauser. Where do you hear this thing? Because I know the story that your brother was a DJ and you kind of were interested in that. Talk to me about how it started.
So music for me growing up was something that was always in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it to be something. I thought everyone was going through that, you know. Records, CDs when they came, because I'm old, when the CDs started becoming prominent.
Listen, we also,
My brother, but it was a Saturday culture for us, like cleaning the house. I'm an R&B chick. I love R&B, so it was that music all the time. And then I went to boarding school. I think that just kept me busy. My dad was the choir, whatever you call him, conductor. I don't know, yeah. And I didn't understand, like I didn't know that music was having that kind of influence in my life. I just always, like people would say, you know all the songs, you know this. I remember my dad saying, if you knew your schoolwork as much as you know all the songs, you would do so well. And just growing up, I didn't know though about DJs. I didn't know that there were, I only knew about radio DJs.
You were just in a family that consumed a lot of music of different genres, and you thought, this is what happens in every household.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot also consumed some amount of alcohol, so there was a lot of singing too. There's a lot of singing, which you still do. We still sing a lot once, you know, the drinks start flowing. But I didn't know that there were entertainers for a crowd called DJs. I thought it was just the radio people that were DJs like you.
The first time we see you as a DJ is on Jiga Majiga, at least for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're on TV, and genuinely, we had not seen female DJs.
Yeah, there were a few before me on that show, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying commercially, we had not seen someone that moves from there and has music out and has a big successful career out of music and even has a DJ school. But a couple of years into us knowing you comes your breakout hit, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
My Name Is. Talk about where you were when that song happened, because you had already been in the industry for a couple of years. There'd been Pepe, I think, before that.
Yeah, there had been Pepe before that. I was definitely deep into the DJ school at the time, so my base was the DJ school. And I was 2 years into era, and at the time, Oskid and I were super frustrated because people confused me so much for Sindo and vice versa. So Oscar's like, you need a song that's going to introduce you. And I think also Maporisa had this idea to say, we need a song that's just going to tell people who you are. So Maporisa calls me into studio and says, come on, I have this song, we need to record it. And then I'm just like, okay, cool, let's work on the song. But what do you mean we need to record it? He's like, no, go into the booth and say, my name is Zinhle. Zinhle. And then, so the voices that say Zinhle, it's Maporisa and I on the song. Zinhle. Zinhle. And then Maporisa and I, like, we're done. The song is happening. Oskido, come, this is the song. Oskido's like, no, you guys need a vocalist. We're like, what do you mean? Because we're like,
so it was just going to be a house beat. And
that's Zinhle.
Yes.
Zinhle. There was no scoop was There was and then Oskido was like, no, you guys are terrible. I'm bringing someone in. I met a girl in Durban. I'm gonna fly her in. I go home that night, and then the next morning, next afternoon, like at around 1, 2, I go to Oskido's studio. There's a girl, like this stunning girl with short hair. She has just gone and done like the scoop was vule. Kalawa
something different as well.
Something different. Oskido is like, we need a song that's going to tell people who you are. And Musiso understood the assignment, and she came through, and that's how My Name Is came about. And I was gonna call the song Zinhle. I sent it to DJ Naves while we were old. And Nave said, no, call it My Name Is because you're introducing yourself. So a lot of people think it's called Her Majesty. It's called My Name Is. The title of the song is My Name Is.
Yeah. So you have this hit now that comes out, and now, you see your star literally rise in front of you, because then the song was everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember the time I was doing a lunchtime show at YFM Sibatala for real. Because I was already working.
Yeah.
I was doing a lunchtime show at YFM, and it was literally one of the songs that were on high rotation. When you hear your music on radio, how does that feel?
It still feels so amazing. I will say that when the song picked up, I wasn't aware that the song was getting big. It was also like the era of Twitter really coming into play. So people were tweeting a lot about the song, and we were like, what's happening? Then a friend of mine and I were driving on a Friday going home from the school in Newtown, and there was a car next to us you could see these people going to a party just blasting the song. And we thought, hey, hold on, what's going on? Are we like...
Can I tell you what I always say about artists? And it's probably the one thing I'm really jealous of when it comes to artists, is you get to see us enjoy what started as an idea in your home.
Right.
Like just a small idea, maybe while you're driving or you're at home, and 100%. You see people eat it up. How does that feel?
It changes the song. My husband and I are big believers in the song completely changes once the general public puts their energy into it. You could make a song and focus on one element, and you think that's the element that's going to drive the song, and people pick something different, and then they change the song completely. So it becomes different for you too. So we thought, okay, the song is moving, and then we went to Durban. I think it was for a Durban July, and the taxis, like every taxi in Durban was playing the song. Busiso and I were just like, okay,
what have we done?
All right, we are inside.
Her name is DJ Zinhle. We're talking her first hit. If you don't know it, I don't know where you've been. Here it is. It's been banging our radio stations, the streets, the taxis for about 12 years now.
Yeah.
It's My Name Is DJ Zinhle, as well as Busiso on this one. Now we know that Maporisa was also there saying Zinhle. It's My Name Is on 947. You've got, in the past 20 years, and shout out for that, 20 years.
Thank you.
Listen, 20 years of this industry is strength.
But can you imagine how many people I've met? Incredible people.
But also 20 years of doing what you love. Not a lot of people can say that.
100% doing what I love, working for myself. It's been so amazing.
How's that been? Juggling... I imagine when you become a parent, you're so used to juggling all your businesses, running up and down the country, the continent, the world, working and becoming a parent, and how smaller you kind of have to make your world at certain points. How's that been? How's that adjustment been?
I was denying it for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought I could just run with it, do all the things I was doing before I had the babies. And until now, I'm just like thinking about retirement.
Yeah. And thinking about retirement 20 years in, and this is all because you're thinking, if I've become a parent and I kind of have to prioritize that, work kind of has to take a back seat. Is that a thing that you're thinking about really long term, or just breaks in between? Because I remember there was a point where you were taking like a hiatus.
I'm thinking about it a lot, but I mean, it's obviously not going to happen in like the next few years. But I definitely am working every day towards that. Like, I want my wealth, man, and retirement. Like, people keep asking me, what's the next 20 years? I'm like, wealth and retirement.
I think we know that about Zinhle.
Right?
I think the country knows that you love money.
I love it. Give me the money. Like, give me the money. Wealth and retirement, and I want to travel the world with my kids. So hopefully that can come soon, Jesus, so that I can just like retire and then spend time with my kids. But I do enjoy what I do. It's been tougher to balance. I won't lie. It just becomes tougher when the kids grow and they are aware of what's happening. Kara's like, but other mommies don't work as much as you do. I'm like, how do you know? Yeah, I see them at school.
They're there every day.
They're there every day. Just like, okay, so yeah, murder has to work harder. Spin faster. So I can...
The tornado.
So, yeah, now I heard it's called the tornado move. Wow, you guys are fast.
Let's talk about, there's an idea that I've always kind of thought is what's happening at Kalawa, right? And I wanted to ask you this off air, and I was like, I'm going to keep it for on air. it's giving family because
100%.
because whether we like it or not, with all the artists that have come from that stable, it's like when someone comes out, everyone has to rally behind this person. If there's a vocalist within the stable, you have to be a vocalist on this person's music.
Yeah.
Come as a producer on this person. How do you come in? Talk to me about working in that space, particularly as a woman that was working around boys at the time.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I was working around boys and the names they would give me. But it made me tough, man. And it also taught me to just think ahead, to be 2 steps ahead all the time. I still tell my team right now, like, if you guys are late for a show, I'm leaving you. I'm going to the show alone. Like, I know how to do it. I was raised in this industry by boys. Like, there are times, when the security at the club has to bring you in, and I'm just like, these guys are going to cause chaos. So I'm just going to do it by myself, and I just watch them from stage. Just like, I wonder who you're moving the crowd for, because I'm already on stage. So I grew up just being taught how to be street smart, how to survive, and how to also work with other people. I think that's another thing that sometimes I find is a bit of a challenge. Now for me, it's different. Like, before, for me, that's the culture. We just work with each other. It's a bit different now. Like, we obviously are running Asante music, It's a bit different from Kalawa, now that we have our own stable, to just be able to access other artists. Now I'm even scared to ask people for collaborations, because it's not as easy as they made it seem at Kalawa. Like, you're doing a song, okay, cool. Get whoever on the song. You're doing a song, get whoever on the song. It was just a culture that we had. And I miss it so much, but definitely it is a family structure. Everyone, okay, you succeeding, then you need to do a song with Zinhle to push her up. Or, just always preach the same thing.
I'm doing my first hit that I've loved and listening to it from home. Right? And I'm glad that I get to do it today with one of my favorite artists, to be honest. You've been part of the music industry, Zinhle, for over 20 years. Key factors that have carried you. It's one thing to say, I know it's what I've always wanted to do, and I've been around people I've had people around me that have supported my career. But what do you think are key factors that have gotten you this far?
I think there's a lot, man.
Yeah.
But the things that I can think of that I believe in is consistency and reliability. Just be reliable. If you say you're going to be at 947 at 12, be there at 11:41.
You were here at like 10 past 10 for 11. I was like, I love that.
Don't give people anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what you say you're going to do. People want to work with reliable people. There's so many jobs and things that I get simply because people know I'm going to show up. There are jobs that other people deserve more than me, but those people might not show up. People want to guarantee that people are going to show up. So please show up, guys. The thing is so important. And also respecting relationships.
I'm going to ask you a question that I think maybe some people might feel like is unfair, but I think you're the person that's qualified to ask this question. You had a DJ school for females. You've worked very closely with female DJs coming up. You had a hangout with the other female DJs a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
What would you say is the one thing that, outside of gatekeeping, really holds back a lot of young artists?
I think it's that, man. Okay, before we go there, I feel like we need to also understand that everything that we do is learned, So we still need to invest a lot in our industry, like the entertainment industry. There's a lot of learning that we still need to invest in so that we just know how to run these things that we're doing. A lot of us have the talent, but we just maybe have not learned yet how to run the full scope of what we're doing.
And the work ethic.
The work ethic. Babe, people are just like, yeah, you artists are not paying tax. We didn't even know we were supposed to pay tax.
That's true. I owed tax by the time I opened my eyes. I was like, how do I owe you this much?
I didn't know I was supposed to be paying tax. How do I pay it? Where do I pay it? So there are a lot of things that we need to learn. But the important thing is to have a teachable spirit. Like, learn, like, always be the dumbest person in the room. Ask questions and absorb as much information as possible, and just like be inspired to grow, man, and take care of yourself. I think what holds people back is just that sometimes we don't know enough, and then also the work ethic, like you said. Some people are not as dedicated. Talent can take you so far sometimes, so maybe you need that extra push so that you're extraordinary, because it seems like now everyone has the same talent, and we are all talented the same amount. The whole world is talented. But what takes you the extra mile is just that extra that you do. Showing up on time, being reliable, consistently doing what you said you're going to do, respecting relationship, honoring your commitments, just the small things. And you can always see the distinctions, Like even when I came here earlier, They said, you're super early. I said, no, guys. You guys said I must be here at 11:30.
Yeah.
Said, oh, I mean, sometimes when you tell artists to be here at a time, they don't arrive. So most times we just have to give them an earlier time. You know what I mean? So like people have to...
Like, if you give me the time, I'm going to be there earlier than that
now
time.
People are working around us, making strategies to trick us to being on time. But we are supposed to be loving what we do and doing it like and respecting other people and just respecting other people's time. Like people wake up to come and do this and give us a platform. So I feel like we definitely need to.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of people that do that. So it's not all bad.
Talk to me about Asante music. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I always tell people that my husband and I don't fight at all. Like we don't fight.
Yeah.
Zero fights. Zero. Like.
And it's probably because you're with your friend.
Yeah. But let me tell you, when it comes to music, it's on. We are fighting. Do you want to fight me now or later? We are fighting. So it's so funny. He's incredible. I think he's a music genius, and I say this all the time. But I also feel like I've learned a few things over the last 20 years. I've got a great understanding of what my music is supposed to sound like. And he is always just like, no. I'm just like, hey, brother, excuse me. So we clash a lot because I think we're both passionate about what we do. But just starting Asante Music was trying to take everything we'd learned, both of us were with Kalawa, that we learned from that record label, and just build something for ourselves. And because we are both perfectionists, we're just like, okay, let's build a structure for us and use ourselves as like the dummies for this thing. And once we feel like we have mastered it, then we can spread it out to other artists. There's an artist that I did a song with, Ubasetsana, and in my heart, I'm just like, how are people not seeing that this lady is the most talented right now and signing her? If I was guaranteed to not waste this lady's time, I would sign her. So I want to create a platform with Asante Music where I can sign people when we are ready and have a proper structure. And it's not now, but it's going to happen in the future. But for now, we are releasing our music under the label. Bongan has released 3 albums already and working. He released an album like a month ago, but he's almost done with the next album. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm also releasing music through Asante Music. So it's exciting for us to just take what we learned and put it into place and build something new.
20 years on, if you looked at Zinhle landing in Joburg and coming in and really being an anomaly, right? Being that girl that's just like pushing in a different, I guess, current that other girls were pushing in.
Yeah.
Everyone was a presenter. Everyone was doing this, that, and the other, and you were pushing in a different current. What would you say to her?
I would say she should trust herself more. Stop doubting herself as much as she does. And I think that's one thing that I wanna, if anyone can learn anything from me, is to not be too hard on themselves. I'm not saying relax and not do anything, but like, don't criticize yourself so much. Don't look down on your efforts so much. Don't weigh your efforts against the next person. Like, do what works for you, and whatever you're doing, just do your best, and that is great for that moment. The next moment you'll do better because you would have learned. I think we put ourselves under so much pressure. Like, so much pressure. That's why we end up giving up, because we're just like, but like, Zinhle's doing this and I'm not doing it. It doesn't matter. You don't know what it took for that person to get to where they are. It's not your story. It's not your journey. You need to just look inwards and trust yourself. If I had to tell myself anything as a younger person, I'd say, trust yourself. I did not trust myself, guys. I thought I was bad. I thought, oh, this idea is going to be so bad. I hated all the ideas I came up with. But I met a lady, and I've never actually spoken about her on air. Her name was Togo Motisageng, if anyone knows that lady. She worked for me. I worked at Clarence, and I was an intern. And I hated makeup at the time. I wasn't even wearing makeup at the time. I had graduated top of my class at UJ, so they got me a job, and she was the marketing manager at the time, and she was so hard on me, and I would like to a point where I would just think, okay, if I present this idea to this lady, she's gonna hate it. She gave me a project, and then I thought of all great ideas, but I thought, no, it's bad. And then I went to her and I gave her like a few that I thought would work. And then she, as if was reading my notes from what I had come up with originally, told me, you could have said this, you could have done that, you could have said this, you could have done that. And I think she taught me one of the biggest lessons of my life, to just trust myself, to just trust. If it's not a good idea, it's a start. You're going to refine it. You're going to change it. You're going to learn. Like, just be brave enough to say, this is my idea. If it's a bad idea right now, I'm going to change it. She built me so much, that lady. She did so much for me. And also, I think when I entered the workforce, I wasn't ready mentally to work. And that lady pushed me to work. I later saw her when I was pregnant with Cairo. And I tried to tell her that she changed my life. But she was just like, I was so hard on everyone hated me. How come you...
You excited to see me?
Yeah, but also she didn't remember who I was. She still doesn't know who I am. But like, she had such an impact on me, and just like understand that if it's an idea, it can be changed. It's not stuck forever. You know what I mean? Like, no idea has to stick forever. That's why it's the seed. You know what I mean?
And it can grow from there.
It can grow into anything.
Zinhle?
Yeah.
I wish you had more time. Oh, man. Zinhle, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Quick, before I let you go.
Yeah.
Z Nation.
Z Nation Fest next Friday, 7 days away. We are
Next
7
Friday?
Yeah. Next Friday, Nasrec. If you're not there, if you're in Joburg and you're not at Nasrec next Friday, where are you going to be? All the artists are going there.
Yes.
We're celebrating 20 years of DJ Zinhle. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited and nervous and growing things in my body from stress, but it's going to be worth it.
She's throwing her own festival as if she's not doing everything else already. In 7 days at Nasrec, Z Nation is happening. Check out our social media to find out where you can get your tickets. Everybody's going to be there.
Hey, listen. This is... Here we go. 947.